mean, he's got an incredible amount of experience and knowledge in education, and we've called upon that so many times. And I know when he leaves, it's going to be a great big void in Brighton Hove, because I know a lot of people do actually rely on him.
I'm going to get it now.
I think about making a speech to teachers. But, I mean, Jed's now been at Davigdor for 10 years, and in that time, Davigdor's flourished, and it's been classed as an outstanding school by Ofsted. But one of the most important things Jed did, I think, was he's developed an amazing team of people, and you're all a credit to him as a head teacher, and you're all a credit to the school. And Jed, he's developed a school that's an absolutely amazing place to be. The children absolutely love it. I mean, I've been there in the morning and they're sort of all running in through the gates. So, so I know, I mean, there's a lot of people here, and I know you're going to be really missed when you go. But before I ask you to raise your glasses, I want to say thank you to the friends of the school who are providing us with the bubbly for this toast, so thank you very much. So if you'd all like to raise your glasses to Jed. To Jed. I'd like to say, Jed, I know whichever path or direction you go in the future, you're going to deal with it with the same degree, and I've got to get this right, otherwise I'm in trouble, with resourcefulness, resilience, reflectiveness, respectfulness. But so all the best, Jed, and I hope you have a great time in your retirement.
Well, I'm going to try to get through this. Probably I might need a reader, so I might say to Julie she might have to come out, or somebody else, but I'm going to try to get through it. Anyway, I've written it down, sorry. Wow. I can't quite believe that this is really finally happening, retiring and still just a baby at 55. It all seems surreal and quite a long time since I made my decision back in September. Very scary and very exciting in equal measure. At Davigdor, we have centred our learning and teaching around our 5 R's, so it seems only fitting that I should say a few words around my 5 R's. But don't worry, they're not rude. Well, not this version anyway. So R is for revelation. And what a revelation my career has been. It has been varied, exciting, rich and highly stimulating, spanning 7 local authorities, 4 substantive and 2 acting headships, working within the special education needs and school psychological service, and also even a really revelationary 14 months at the QCA. Throughout this time, I have never ceased to be amazed about how children and adults can totally surprise you. Every day something new is revealed. New learning, a new quirk, a tantalising insight into how they view things, a new human or professional puzzle to be solved. Human beings are intricate and highly complex. Things are rarely as they first appear. That makes working with people challenging at times, but endlessly rewarding. To engage with so many and be a small contributing part of their story has been a huge privilege. The many memories will keep me chuckling to myself for years to come, if I'm not sectioned too soon. R is for reasonable. I've always strived to be reasonable and to be fair. My colleagues are entitled to a life. Balancing this with ever-escalating demands and higher expectations has become increasingly difficult, and sadly for me, terminally unreasonable. I hope that the government will begin to look into the causes of the very worrying educational statistics. 40% dropout rate for young teachers in the first couple of years of their career, the rapidly increasing number of teachers electing to work part-time, and the national average of 0.7 applicants for headship posts. I suppose my decision to go for earliest retirement is another micro statistic. R is for real. As educators and those who support us, we make a real difference to people's lives, both immediately and for their future. I've committed my working life and my passion to the education of children 3 to 8. Sadly, over the last few years, I think I lost sight of what I truly knew was real and most important. I became, as many colleagues do, obsessed and paranoid about results, about data, about Ofsted. Being a slave to them took up nearly all of my time and energy. When I came into teaching in Henry Maynard nursery class, Waltham Forest in 1982, what was real for me and the children was so much simpler. If you were warned that a monster was coming, you ran. It did. Often in a play tunnel, I was a lot smaller then. After it had gone, unfortunately not eaten you imagined it, you talked about it, you perhaps made a den for it, you created it in a variety of ways. Magical, memorable moments that led seamlessly on to others. Thankfully for young children, the best learning, the joy, the fun, is not that. It is very different, however, for the adults who are teaching them. There is a constant fear and anxiety about how the monster, the snow day, the visiting band, may impact on the crowded timetable and on the high-stakes end of year or key stage outcomes. I wonder what children will truly remember. The day the owls visited, the day the 5 of London came to school, the day treasure was found in the sandpit, or a nest of dinosaur eggs in the bushes, or the fact that they achieved a 2B or a 4, or 3 or more cliques. It is through the incredible genius and talent of early years and primary teachers that miraculously they are able to do both. Be creative, innovative and inspirational, as well as achieve amazing standards. They should be worshipped and celebrated, not pilloried as never doing enough. And at this rate, who will be left to do it? We know that education is about people. As a head teacher of many years now, my contribution has been more towards hopefully supporting and empowering adults, which I hope then indirectly benefits the children in their care. My guiding principle has been trying to be fair, personal first, then professional. Without humility and compassion, I believe we are lost both as professionals and as people. R is for resilience. And boy, let this attribute never be in question. This room is full of the most fantastically resilient people. With continuous change foisted upon us, we've had to be. We are also resilient because of our total commitment to the children in our care and their families. They still need us, and in some ways, more than ever before. For me, my personal and professional resilience after 33 years of continuous change and reinvention finally began to wane, fueled by deteriorating health. Also a degree of mounting cynicism, sadly. One too many deja vu, old goods and new packaging, a notch too high on the ever-rising bar, nothing ever being good enough, change for change's sake, and spirally expectations over many things that are very often out of our control. Those who know anything about psychology, which I suspect will be the large majority of us here, will know the harmful and damaging effects of these things on us over time. It never ceases to intrigue me how, as an education system, increasingly we do to adults what would be a sackable offence if we did to children. In my experience, adults and children are not that dissimilar. We need many of the same things to sustain our well-being, to thrive and to be motivated. For resilience to remain strong, it needs supporting and bolstering with two other very important and interrelated R's: respect and responsibility. Sadly, in society generally, I think these seem to be very much in decline. I hope that in time, colleagues, they will return for you. And finally, R is for retirement. A host of R's: re-energise, rethink, reinvent, restore, rest, recuperate, revive, refresh, renaissance, revisit, relive, review, renew, revise, and a whole host of other R's that I can't think of. For me, the time to take this huge step was right. I've had an amazing career and consider myself blessed. I doubt I'll stay retired long, but as to what guise I return in remains to be seen. Some colleagues and friends have heard mention of a few possibilities. We shall see. Well, that's more than enough rambling from me. I thank you all, much loved and respected friends and colleagues, most sincerely for coming and joining me for this momentous life event. I have loved and valued working with you across the years. We have had some real laughs and created many treasured memories. In particular, I thank the most amazingly incredible team of David Dog. They are truly astonishing, and I have learned so much from them and owe so much to them. It is so true that a leader is only as good as their team. And in every school I've worked, it is the team who has enabled me to enjoy the successes I have. So thank you Larkhall Infant and Nursery School. Thank you Carden Infant and Nursery, and then most recently Carden Primary. Thank you Stanford Infants. Thank you The Brook, and thank you David Dore. Just to confuse and upset some of you, I've decided not to move up north just yet. So Brighton and home for the foreseeable future. I hope, therefore, I will continue to catch up with you in the months and possibly years to come. I'm always available for lunch and rowdy drunken evenings. My masonette on Portland Road has become the second parlour for education professionals, so pop around any time. Thank you again, everyone, for everything. You are all amazing, and I will miss you so much. So now, let's party!
Right, just before we get on to the proper disco dancing, can I have the Greek dancers up, please?